What's up, my real ones? Welcome to the BeYou podcast. Ooh, it's been a minute. I know it's been a minute. The whole month of October has been absolutely wild for me. The plan has been to just drop 8 episodes for this year for season 1, and I'm only 2 episodes in, so that means I got some catching up to do. But nonetheless, I'm super excited to be here. I don't know why I'm out of breath. I'm here by myself at my house. I'm in my bedroom, by the way. You guys are in my bedroom. Welcome to the bedroom. And you're probably wondering, like, what does the entirety of the room look like? It's pretty clean, actually. It's pretty clean, but I can't tell you the same about my daughter's bedroom right behind me. But yeah, man, I'm super excited again. It's been a little bit, but I'm back. And if you are new to the podcast, to the project, my name is Keren, and this is the BeYou project that I began really just thinking about. It actually was conceived probably a year to 2 years ago. And the whole idea is just learning how to be the voice that I wish I had when I was at any point in my life, when I was living with an identity crisis. And part of the vision of this is for me to be transparent, be open, to help you in any way I can. And some of the nuggets that come through my life that I get to impart into you, hopefully it blesses you. Hopefully it encourages you. Hopefully it inspires you to be the authentic self that God has created you to be. Now, I do have a Christian bent. I am a believer. I've been saved for about 12 to 13, maybe 14 years. I probably should get that marked down. But it's from a Christian band. And I'm just all about who God created me to be. I think part of my struggle growing up, and I think part of everyone's struggle, is trying to figure out who they really are. And that's what, again, this thing is about. And so if you're about to support, please make sure to like and subscribe wherever you're watching from. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram at BeYou. All the stuff will be in the description. If you want to help support the pod, you can Cash App. You can donate in the Cash App. That'll be generously appreciated. And then follow us on where social media platform. Again, all the description will be the things will be in the description below. Yes. And so, yeah, again, it's been a while. I've been looking forward to this. I think about you guys all the time. And I thank you so much for the support that's been happening so far. And I'm about it. I'm like really dreaming about what this can turn into. Again, there are a lot of pods out here. I know, I understand, but I want to be again the voice of people who haven't heard it. So I am excited about what this can be. Eventually, as I start to build a team. Quick plug-in. If you want to be a part of the production team, help the startup. If you're a videographer, if you're a producer, if you have any kind of entry level and you want to say, hey, I would love to help and support. If you have any kind of editing skills, let's jump on the team. More information in the description or comment. Show me your DM, all that stuff. I like, let's talk, because I'm trying to build a team, because guys, this is not easy by yourself. I give credit to all the solo content creators out there. This ain't easy by yourself. And so if you want to be a part of the journey, if you want to be a part of the startup, who knows where God takes us in the future. I don't have big aspirations of trying to be some kind of global, the next Joe Blogan, Black Joe Rogan, bad joke. But like, I'm not trying to be any kind of like success story, but I'm trying to be impactful. And so if you want to be a part of that, jump on board, go ahead and DM me. And let's get to it. So I wanted to tell you, though, like, here's the cool thing. I am coming back. If I'm like energetic, it's not because this cup of coffee in my hand. It's not because I had 2 Red Bulls last night. It's not because I had already had Starbucks this morning. It's because I just got off vacation. Ooh, yo. Vacation. Me and my wife went on a cruise, a 5-night, 6-day-ish cruise that was super phenomenal. Much needed. I loved every single minute of it. And no, I did not bring any kids, and no, I did not bring back any kids. Come on, somebody. I have 5 kids. If you don't know, I have 5 girls. Correction: Callie, Mila, True, Luna, and Ray. Emmanuel. At the time of this recording, Ray's little sick right now. She's had something. She's in the other room sleeping, and so if you hear some crying, if he cries, I'll go get her and she'll join the podcast. So we're all about authenticity here. But yeah, we went on vacation and I absolutely loved it. Like, my goodness, and it's probably the best vacation my wife and I has been on. Let me give you a little disclaimer. For me, and I don't know if this is you, I have a big problem and I struggle with rest. I don't know if that's you. I don't know if you're a person who struggles with rest. If you are, put in the chat right now. Like, let's get interactive a little bit. I would love to read some of the things you struggle with in the area of rest. But I struggle with rest, and it wasn't actually until a few years ago. I'll never forget. A few years ago, so I like to give you some context. I've been in ministry. So I work at a church. I'm a clergy. I'm a pastor. So I work at a church, and I've been working in ministry in the church context for about 12 years. And in the span of those 12 years, not once did I ever feel burnt out. And let me back up for a little bit, because I think part of the reason why I never felt burnt out is because I was never true or honest with myself. So I grew up with a father who was Haitian. I grew up with a father who, good night, guys, I don't think I've ever heard him complain once. And he had 5 kids, 4 boys, 1 girl. I don't think I ever heard him complain, not once. And if I did hear him complain, it was like a super valid reason. He was complaining about maybe something that was like super like obvious and valid and like, complain worthy, if you may. And so he's never complained. So I've kind of adopted that from him. And part of the tension is like my family growing up wasn't very communicative, meaning we didn't talk a lot. We weren't doing much community. We were living together let me set this straight. My father, my mother, best parents ever. They loved, cherished us. They gave us a roof. They fed us. They taught us the way of life. They taught us, most importantly, about how to have a relationship with the Lord. A lot through example and watching them. But some of the things that we were missing is we didn't talk about feelings, and we didn't share emotions. So we kind of learned to just keep things tucked in. We learned to keep things, we compartmentalized, we adjusted, we blanketed, we ignored, we hid. And so growing up, combining, I never saw my dad complain, and I never heard any type of raw emotion except for when he was whooping. Now, if you hear whooping, you know what that is. Not spanking, not timeout. Now we ain't get no timeout. We got knocked out. Like there was none of that. Like we got whooped, and so that's where I saw the most emotion in my father. Like when he was whooping us, beating us. So we didn't see much emotion. We didn't see like any type of big emotion. I didn't come home and I didn't really tell my dad, "Hey, Dad, like this was going on in my life," or we didn't talk vice versa. I don't really recall when I was back in the day, remember my dad telling me verbatim he loved me. But here's the thing. I always knew my dad loved me because of the things he did, the sacrifices he made. One cool story is we didn't have much money growing up. My dad worked a lot. He was a hard worker, one of the hardest working persons I've ever known. And my mother worked hard too. And so we didn't have a lot. And it was one Christmas, he orchestrated like buddies at a fire department. He orchestrated like this thing to where, like, how do I explain it? There was a fire truck and there was like a box. I'm talking about this high, a box of secondhand used toys. No doubt, thinking back now, it's probably from Goodwill or probably from some kind of secondhand store. But nonetheless, it was a stack of toys. None of them were wrapped. Some of them were broken, but a stack of toys. And he had his buddy in the fire truck come. One was dressed in like a Santa outfit. They all brought the box in the house, and like it was amazing. And so in that moment, I knew my dad loved me. Even though I looked at the firefighter sheet, he was wearing some raggedy dad shoes, and he like smelled like smoke, and it was obviously wasn't really Santa, but the effort, the thought, the intention, I knew he loved me. And same for my mom. I go to my mom's house right now and I know she loves me because, man, she'll cook me a meal and spend 2 hours cooking me a meal if I'm there for, even if I'm only there for like just a little bit. She'll cook me something crazy. And so there's other ways that my parents have shown me they love me, but we never talked like that. And so I grew up like thinking, okay, if my dad doesn't complain, we don't really talk about emotions. So that's not really what I do. I grew up I don't talk about how I feel. Back then, I don't express that. So that bled into a lot of areas of my life. Ooh, a lot. Like, we don't have time right now. We're going to talk about it in the future, about where I was relationally, especially me and my wife. There's some stuff that I think could help you and bless you, but there's some stuff that I would love to share about marriage and relationships. But it bled into a lot of areas of my life. And one of the things that I learned to do is just hide things. But in my head, I wasn't hiding. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't hiding. It was just, this is what I do. This is what we do. We don't talk about things. We don't like voice things. And so when I was working in the church, I didn't express that I was tired like that. I just kept working harder. Like, when I was like, again, you can insert any profession for you, any profession, whatever it is. I didn't express I was tired. So I've been working in ministry for 12 long years. Excuse me, 12 long years. And not once, though, I remember ever saying, I'm burnt out, I'm tired. I just kind of sucked it up and kept going. And so fast forward to 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Oh, well, 3 years now, 2020, when COVID hit. When COVID hit, it forced everyone to stop. It forced everyone to pause and to rethink what life really meant, the meaning of life. And that may be me projecting, but that's what I did. I thought the meaning of life. And so, guys, I was all over the place. I wanted to quit my job. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know my purpose. I thought my purpose was a lie, blah, 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 blah. But then I realized, like a slight realization is like, man, I'm tired. I'm worn out. But I still didn't vocalize it. I wasn't at the place I am now. I didn't vocalize it. That's not something I talked about. Especially in some ministry circles, you're like, you gotta have this ministry grit, right? To where, don't get me wrong, everyone needs grit. We all need grit. We all need to take action. And oh God, I could talk about that. How sometimes we are frozen and paralyzed we are paralyzed by our ideas. Excuse me. We are paralyzed by our ideas, but we're not quick to take action. So we think it again. If it's a thought or a dream, it's just a thought or a dream until you put it into action. And so man, I was struggling. And so fast forward, I come to this part. It was like earlier this year, and my job, God, I love my job. Shout out to Rise Church and my bosses and my coworkers and all that. I love what I get to do. And so early this year, I got to a point where I was extremely burnt. Like, to the point, I won't say to the point of quitting, because that's not just in my nature. And life has taught me to keep going even when it sucks. Let's be honest. But I wanted to quit. And then until we went to a retreat with some of our team, and until I was able to I was put into a spot where I can be open and transparent and talk about how I feel and be safe with it. That's the key right there. Some of you out there are not open about who you are or what you're going through because you don't feel safe. And the challenge is find people to be safe around. Find people to be you around. And maybe that you don't have that friend group right now, but get a counselor. Somewhere where you can express yourself safely. Let's get out of this toxicity that is, as individuals, we have to appear stronger than we are. We can't appear weak. Bull-loney. I almost said bull junk. Be like Dion, bull junk. No, being weak, hear me, like exposing weakness can be a strength at times. It can be a strength at times because now you're willing to say, hey, I am weak here. Now I need to do something about it. Opposed to just hiding it and keeping it concealed and then appearing you're strong. But when you're struggling, people are like, yo, this dude is saying one thing, we're not doing another thing. This chick is saying one thing and doing another thing. And so expose it. So find safe places to go and share. So get a counselor, talk to somebody at a local church or talk to somebody at your job or whatever the case may be. Get in a spot where you can share and expose who you are. Expose what you're going through, expose what you're dealing with, expose all the corruptness that's inside of you. Expose it. Don't let it fester inside of you. And so I remember I was in that room and I was just, I burst. And out of that was a beautiful thing. What came out of that was I realized I didn't rest enough. I was tired. And the lack of honesty with me created this false bravado that I could not keep up with. You with me? Like I couldn't keep up with the image I was trying to portray to everybody else. I was trying to show everyone else that I was good when I wasn't good. I was trying to show everyone else that I'm okay when I wasn't okay. I was trying to show everyone else that I was strong when I was weak. I was trying to show everyone else that I can do it when I just need to stop for a moment. And the true thing about rest is rest starts with you. You have to be honest with yourself. It starts with awareness, being honest with yourself, giving a good survey, taking a good self-survey and reflecting, be like, okay, this is where I'm at. This is what I need to work on. This is what I need to do, so on and so forth. And so I came out of that on fire in terms of I'm trying to find areas to rest now. I'm trying to find areas to improve. And one of the things that I did is I started looking at my physical health. I said, yo, your boy too heavy. Too heavy. I officiated one of my brother's weddings, and it was a beautiful ceremony. But when I looked back at the pictures, your boy looked like a whale. My face was big, and again, this may seem silly to you, but it was serious to me. My face was big, so on and so forth. I was like, nah, I can't do that. I can't do that. So I went on this journey, and I've been on this kick ever since, and I've never felt better. I'm 34 years old, and I've never felt better. I feel super great right now. I feel enriched. I feel rested physically. And one of the areas I'm trying to work on is resting, like in the area of physicalness, is sleep. Man, studies show, watch this, studies show, interesting thing I read up the other day. Studies show that those who rest their bodies and take care of their physical selves tend to live longer. Like I'm talking about naturally. I'm not excluding all those like freak accidents and all that stuff. Like I'm talking about naturally, they tend to live longer and have a higher quality of life. Don't you want a quality of life? The truth is you probably wouldn't be doing the things you're doing late at night if you went to bed. You're like, hey man, I'm tempted. I struggle with this. Go to sleep. A lot of stuff that you are hiding from your spouse, from your friends, from your coworkers, from your boss is stuff you're doing late at night or stuff you're doing when you're tired. We succumb to temptation much easier when we're tired, not only physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So just rest a little bit. Maybe plan a cruise. Maybe go on some sort of like retreat. Go by the beach for a day. Whatever it is for you. Go to the gym. Eat better. Or go hiking. Take a bike ride. Like exercise is not simply strength training. Exercise is being active physically and moving. Like make an aim. Hey, I'm going to walk at least 8 to 12,000 steps a day. Whatever it is. Like instead of like, maybe you like to listen to podcasts, or maybe you want to listen to this podcast. Walk around your block while you're listening to it. Rest. We need to do stuff to get our bodies refreshed. Because if our body's not refreshed, our mind's not going to be refreshed. And if our mind's not refreshed, we're not going to live up to the fullness of who we can be. We're not going to be our real authentic selves. So I had to learn. I had to learn to be honest with me. I had to be honest with myself. honest with who I am? Are you honest with yourself? Here's a cool thing though. Like, watch this. So this is where this honesty of mine is taking me and has taken me. So a few weeks ago, I got off of work and I was super, super overwhelmed. And it wasn't one of those days where I was like, where it was a lot going on. It wasn't like that. I think it was just the day had accumulated. Well, let me say it this way. There has been an accumulation, of stressors, pressures, and tensions that was adding up for months prior. And I had not gone on my cruise yet. And then that day was not a significantly stressful day. It was just a normal day. But when I got home, again, I have 5 girls. I got home and there was just so much happening. My house was a wreck. The kids were all like needing things that are loud and are going through things. I'm thinking about some of the personal things when it comes to finance. I'm thinking about scheduling. I'm thinking about all this stuff. And I was done. And then my mood went from a 10 being good to a 1 being horrible and stressed and overwhelmed. And I remember still to this day, I remember I was sitting there again, because this was like 2 weeks ago. I was sitting on the couch and I still wouldn't say, man, I'm stressed. I wouldn't even say it. Like I'm still working on me. I wouldn't say I'm stressed. I wouldn't say like, oh, I'm overwhelmed. I said, man, I texted my wife, I said, hey, Erica, I said, I don't feel good right now. She's like, physically? I said, I don't know. But I still wouldn't admit it. Like, hey, I'm stressed. I am overwhelmed and I need a break or whatever. And I was concealing, and that was creating more toxicity inside of me. It was making me more toxic, my mood, my emotion. So I'm sitting on the couch, Eric comes in and I'm just not talking. I'm not responsive. I'm just blah. And then my kids have Christmas play practice. And so we had to take them to Christmas play practice. But my wife texted me, said, hey, 2 of Callie's friends needs a ride. And so already I'm not in a bad mood. So I'm like, okay, I got to go out of my way. Now, mind you, I love doing these things, but in this moment, I wasn't me. You see what I'm saying? Like, excuse me. When you are not honest with you, then you become another version of you that's not you. That was weird, but it made sense. And so I wasn't me at that moment. And so I'm mad. I'm in the car and I'm driving. And I got my 2 good kids in there. I'm not saying nothing. I'm driving. They're like, can we play music? I'm like, no. I'm like, done. So I get to one of 2 kids I'm picking up. So we pick up 2 girls, 2 of my daughter's friends, and good friends of my wife and I. So we picked them up, got in the car, started driving. Now they're cackling. And I can hear my daughter talking to her friend about like this song that I put my kids on. Now in my home, we listen to nothing but Christian music, music with good morals, good teachings, good foundations. And so my kids are used to it. And so there's a song that I introduced my kids to. It's a holy drill song. It's fire. And so we're listening to that. And then so then my daughter's like, hey, I heard you singing the song that I introduced you to. She was like, she's kind of like coaching her, because like the girl was like, hey, can we play that song? And she's like, oh, I heard you sing in the cafeteria. And now, mind you, my daughter has been not pressuring her, but like encouraging her to listen to these songs. And so before she wouldn't, but now she's like all about it. And I'm listening to that. I'm like, man, look, like my daughter is talking about, in our opinion, morally positive things to her friends. She's influencing her friends. She's leading her friends in that moment. Then I can hear my other daughter talking to her friends about like the Christmas play, some kind of stuff they're talking about. And then all of a sudden I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, I'm pretty stressed right now. I remember saying that out loud under my breath. I'm pretty stressed right now. I'm overwhelmed, but my kids are good. And so then we pick up the other friend, the third friend. She gets in the car and they're all singing this song and they're jumping up and down. They're laughing. They're having a good time. And then I realized, wow, I have kids who want to go to church, who are influencing their friends, and who are generally happy. Not everybody can say that. Now, I'm not talking about the church in particular. I'm just talking about just happy. There are things that you want to see as a parent, and all parents have things they want to see their kids do and be and who they want to be. And so I'm happy. And so all of a sudden, in the middle of my stress and the overwhelmingness that I was feeling, I said, hold on, let me sit back and let me count the things I am happy for. Let me count the blessings that I do have. Let me be grateful for a moment. Again, I'm a believer in Jesus. And so I'm just like, let me thank God. Let me thank God for all those things that he's given me. So I just started being grateful and sort of counting my blessings for the little things. I'm like, man, thank God I got a car. I was like, man, some people's cars are broke down right now. Some people don't have a sufficient transportation mode to go from point A to point B. I have one. I said, thank God I got beautiful kids. I have kids who love me and their mother. I'm like, man, I'm good. I got a church family that loves me. I got a job that supports the needs that I have for me and my family, and also the passion that God has put inside of me. I'm like, I'm just counting my blessing. All of a sudden, my mood went from negative to positive. Like, it went from negative to positive. And I was like, hold on, man. Yeah, there's still the pressures of life. Yeah, there's still things that I'm overwhelmed with. Yeah, there's still like stuff that I need to fix. But hold up, man. Like, I gotta count my blessings. I gotta count my blessings. You want to know do you know how to climb a mountain? The only way you can climb a mountain is one step at a time. And so instead of worrying about all the things you can't control, what about you shift the things you can? And it's your attitude in those moments. And now there are a whole bunch of like nuances and variables I understand, but man, in moments where when you're restless, what can you control? I can control the fact that I am grateful for what I have right now, not what I don't have, not what I'm lacking, not what I can't control, but what I do have right now. And I think one of the keys that I'm learning right now to rest better is to be grateful for what I have. So I'm not stressed about what I don't have. Like, I have a house. Me and my wife are in a venture to get a bigger home because something to accommodate our family. But we have a home that sleeps all of our kids comfortably and we're safe. Like, count the things that you have and don't worry about what you don't. And that's something that, like, even the cruise, man, it taught me this little break that my wife and I taught me, that moment that I had a few weeks ago taught me that we can overcome some of the restlessness inside of us by just being grateful for what we have. I love it. Just be grateful. Be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for what you have. I think that's a good place to stop. That's a good place to stop. And so here, let me share this with y'all. Like, today is November, time of this recording is November 3rd. And so what I want to challenge you to do is every day in November, count one thing you're blessed for, like verbatim out loud. Say, man, I'm grateful for this. I'm blessed to have this. I'm thankful for this. Do that. And let's watch your attitude shift. And I'm not promising you that that's going to be a magical, thing to remove whatever stress in your life. No, but I'm just trying to put something inside of you that you can control. You can control what you're grateful for. You can control what's consuming your mind. And so let's be blessed today, y'all. Let's be blessed today. Man, I love you guys so much. I'm going to be putting out more content. I promise. I apologize for the delay. I apologize for the long hiatus, but be dropping some more stuff. I love y'all. Real love y'all. Okay. So I'll catch you on the flip. Remember, like and subscribe, share this with somebody, and never forget to always be real and be you. Love y'all. Peace.